My name is Michael Boyle, and I'm very excited to share with you two important bills that I need your help in contacting your representative. The first bill is focused on property rights. It is a constitutional amendment to the state constitution that says if you want to build a project for economic development or for private equity in the state of South Dakota, you can't use government force to get your project approved. You have to use those old-fashioned negotiation tactics like honest dialogue and a compelling offer. 2 years ago, we put a stop to those who wanted to take away local control and our private property rights. Then last year, we passed a law that said no eminent domain for carbon capture pipelines. And now we are taking the next step to protect private property for future generations by putting a law into our state constitution. In plain language, this amendment says no eminent domain for private gain. The number is HJR 5001, and if the legislature passes this resolution, it will be added to the ballot in November of 2026. I will keep you up to date when there's important information, but right now I need you to reach out to your state legislators and ask them to support HJR 5001 to protect our private property rights. Now, the next important bill is about protecting our Constitution. There is a group called Convention of States, and they want to call a convention to make changes to our Constitution. We haven't had anything like that since 1787, when our Constitution was written. Now, some will argue that Article 5, describing how to change the Constitution, is part of the Constitution, and to call for a convention isn't really against the Constitution. But here's the problem. The last time we had a convention was under the Articles of Confederation, and they had the same idea. Let's make some changes to fix our Constitution, to fix the problems that we're having. And so they called a convention. And instead of amending the Articles of Confederation, they wrote a new Constitution, the one we have today. But we don't have men like Thomas Jefferson or John Adams or Benjamin Franklin. Could you imagine what would come out of a constitutional convention today? Our Supreme Court just last week was asking lawyers to define what was a boy and a girl. We're not in a good place to be writing a new constitution. Now, COS will say there are many protections that will stop anything bad from happening and that the states are the ones in control of the process. But earlier this year, a federal judge ruled on a lawsuit about a call for a constitutional convention. That judge ruled that the states are not in control because it is a federal process under our federal Constitution. Congress will decide how a convention will be called. Many of the safeguards that Convention of States brings up were also in place in 1782. But our founders appealed to the Declaration of Independence and said that we have a right to alter or abolish our government. They didn't do something illegal. They appealed to a higher authority, we the people. And that is why our Constitution starts with these words. But we do not need to give Congress or Washington the opportunity to change our Constitution. Please tell your state legislators to vote no on both SJR 502 and SJR 503 and defend our Constitution. Have a wonderful day.